And so every time that the song says up, we're going to stand up, and every time that the song says down, we're going to stand down. Does that make sense to you, Leo? Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we were both on the same page for when we get to the song later today. Freddie? Hey, Freddie, are you okay?
Oh, Mr. Hedman, I've been having a really rough day. I just don't want to come to school right now. Everything's so different. I just want things to go back to the way they were before. I don't know how I can handle it by myself.
Well, you know, Freddie, it's okay to not feel okay. This is a brand new experience for all of us, myself included. Isn't that right, Leo? And that's why it's so important for us to learn to work together and support each other during this time. I know things are not easy for anybody, but if we are willing to support each other and help each other out in any way we can, I'm sure that we're going to come out of this on top of things. You know what? Why don't we help take your mind off of things right now? Why don't we make some music together?
That would be great. I love making music with all my friends.
Sounds like a plan, Freddie. Hey, West Burlington Falcons, you are just in time. Freddie's been feeling a little down lately, and maybe some of you are too. But I figured that we can make some music to help take our minds off of things for even just a little bit, and that can help lift our moods and make us feel a little bit better. So let's go make some music together. Welcome to music, everyone. Welcome to music, everyone. Hope you have a lot of fun. Hope you have a lot of fun. Now is the time to sing and play. Now is the time to sing and play. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great day. Now, boys and girls, in our last episode, we talked about healthy habits in music class and things that we can do to keep both ourselves and our friends safe. What were the actions to the song Stay Apart that we sang last time? Do you remember the 3 different actions? There's one. We stay apart. Do you remember another one? We cover when we cough. And remember, we use the crook of the elbow. We do not use our hands. We cover when we cough. And what was the last action? Let me give you a quick hint. Yes, especially when we're going to sing in public around other people, we wear our mask. Let's sing Stay Apart all together. We'll stay apart, and we'll cover when we cough, and we'll stay apart. We'll stay apart, and we'll cover when we cough, and we'll stay apart. We'll wear masks, and we'll cover when we cough, and we'll stay apart. We'll wear masks, and we'll cover when we cough, and we'll stay apart. We'll stay apart, and we'll cover when we cough, and we'll stay apart. We'll stay apart, and we'll cover when we cough, and we'll stay apart. We'll wear masks, and we'll cover when we cough, and we'll stay apart. We'll wear masks, and we'll cover when we cough, and we'll stay apart. I've got this really long word that is up on the board. I'm wondering if you can help me out by spelling it out. Shout out the letters as I point to them. S-U-P-P-O-R-T. We can sound out the word together like this. Support. 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 Support is the word that is on the board, and that is a very important word for us to learn about. Because in today's age where everything just seems so different and so new to so many of us, we need to be ready to support each other. I support you and you support me. We do that to build something called community. But what exactly is community? Ooh, I think I have a friend who can help us out with that. Leo, you're up.
Hello there, boys and girls. My name is Leonardo Libretto, but you may just call me Leo for short. My favorite thing in music class is learning about musical vocabulary or musical terminology. When we come across a word that we don't know in music class, it's my job to help us understand what that word means. Up on the board, we've got this really long word called community. Do you happen to know what is community? Why don't you share with someone around you? Maybe you've got your parents at home, or a brother or sister, or maybe even a pet you could share your answer to. What do you think is community? Yes. Now, it's very interesting. Community is a word that actually has more than one meaning or definition. Some words can have more than one meaning. Community has two meanings. It can mean a group of people living in the same place, but it can also mean a feeling of fellowship with others. So, when we support each other, S-U-P-P-O-R-T, we can build community, a feeling of togetherness and fellowship. That is the meaning of community.
Thank you so much for the help, Leo. Now we're going to do a little chant to help remind us about the importance of supporting each other in music class and even outside of music. It goes a little bit like this. You can just repeat after me. S-U-P-P-O-R-T. S-U-P-P-O-R-T. I support you and you support me. I support you and you support me. That's what builds community. That's what builds community. S-U-P-P-O-R-T. S-U-P-P-O-R-T. If you want to practice this a little bit more, you can always rewind the video a little bit and try it again. But for right now, I want to try doing our chant for support with the music. And just to give you a little bit of a heads up, after we say the chant one time, you're going to get a short chance for a dance break. Now, when you're dancing, even at home, you want to make sure you're giving yourself plenty of space. You want to make sure that you're not going to bump into anything. So if you haven't found a good place to dance right now, go ahead and find a spot. I like to call that our space bubble, a good area where we're not going to bump into anyone or anything. Find that space bubble, get ready for that dance break, and after the dance break, we go right back to the chant. Let's try support all together.
S-U-P-P-O-R-T. I support you and you support me. That's what builds community. S-U-P-P-O-R-T.
Here's that dance break. Get all those wiggles out.
S-U-P-P-O-R-T. I support you and you support me. That's what builds community. S-U-P-P-O-R-T.
Last music class, we talked about all the things that music can be. We remember that music has a steady beat. Music can be high and low. Music can be fast and slow. Music can be long and short. Music can be strong or quiet. And today I want to talk about one of the best ways that we can make music in music class, and that is using our voice. It's what we've been doing already. What are some ways that we can use our voice to make music? Yes, of course, singing is the number one way for us to make music using our voice. Now remember, if you're going to sing around other people who are not in your family, you'll want to wear a mask. That's to protect you and the people around you. So we can sing in music class using our voice. What's another way that we can use our voice? Think about what we just did a moment ago with our chant support. Yes, we can use our speaking voice as a way to make music by saying words in rhythm like a chant. Any other ways? Oh yes, humming could be another way of making music using our voice. It's kind of like using that singing voice. I want to teach you about the 4 different types of voices that we can use in music class. We're going to go over all 4 voices, and then we'll talk about whether we should use those voices in music class or maybe not use them at all. I want you to repeat after me. You can follow along with the student right next to me. This is my speaking voice.
This is my speaking voice.
I use it every day.
I use it every day.
This is my whisper voice.
This is my whisper voice.
It's quieter this way.
It's quieter this way.
This is my shouting voice.
This is my shouting voice.
It sounds like a fight.
It sounds like a fight.
This is my singing voice.
This is my singing voice.
It sounds just right.
It sounds just right.
So what were the 4 different voices that we just talked about? I'll give you a moment to think about it. You can say it to someone around you. Maybe your parents are at home, a brother or sister, or even your pet. You can share it with them. What are the 4 voices that we can use? Speaking voice is one. That's the one that we use every single day. We use it all the time, even in music class when we're answering questions or if we're doing a chant. What's another voice? The whisper voice is another one. Sometimes we'll use this in music class if we need to calm down a little bit, use a softer voice, or sometimes if we want to make something a little mysterious or a little surprising, we'll switch to that whisper voice like this. What's another voice that we use in class? Let's talk about that shouting voice. Do you think we should use our shouting voice in music class? I'm hearing some of you say, no, we probably shouldn't. And I would agree with that. We probably shouldn't use our shouting voice. Why should we not use our shouting voice? Shouting can damage our voice. It can hurt our voice. Sometimes you can even lose it if you do it too much. So we want to make sure we're protecting our voices by not using that shouting voice. And also sometimes shouting can hurt kids' ears and other people's ears. We want to be respectful to them. We never use our shouting voice in music class. What was the last voice? Of course, the one that we use all the time in music, our singing voice. Our singing voice. Is our singing voice really, really loud? No, it doesn't have to be. I know that I mentioned before that music can be strong or quiet. When I say that music can be strong, that doesn't really mean loud. Because if we want to make music loud, then it kind of becomes shouting. And we don't want to use that shouting voice. I like to say we want to make our singing voices full. We want to fill the room with our singing voices, but we want to do it without going to our shouting voice. So those are the 4 types of voices that we use in music class. We just recently came back to school from summer vacation, and I'm curious to know what were some of the things that you did over your summer break? Some of you might have gotten a chance to maybe play a lot of video games. Maybe you spent a lot of time playing outside. Some of you might have just wanted to sleep in. Well, I want to tell you a little bit about one of my family members' vacations. I have an aunt who lives far away, and she loves to travel. Now, her traveling this summer was a little bit different. She had to be very careful with how she traveled, but she traveled all the way around the world. And I want to teach you this fun movement song about my aunt who came back from all these different locations. This is an echo song, which means that all you have to do is listen to the teacher first and then copy after the teacher. Now, this is also what I like to call an additive song. And what I mean by that is you're going to see the teacher show one action and you're going to copy it. After that, we're going to add a second action. You're going to have to do 2 actions at the same time. You're going to copy that. Then we're going to add a third. You're going to copy all 3 at the same time. It is pretty darn tough, but I think you're up to the challenge. Let's sing My Aunt Came Back. My aunt came back, from old Japan, and she brought with her, a folding fan. My aunt came back, from old Algiers, and she brought with her, a pair of shears. My aunt came back, from Holland too, and she brought with her, a wooden shoe. My aunt came back, from Niagara Falls, and she brought with her, some ping pong balls. My aunt came back, from the New York Fair, and she brought with her, a rocking chair. My aunt came back, from Kalamazoo, and she brought with her, some gum to chew. My aunt came back, from Timbuktu, and she brought with her, some clowns like you. Today for show and tell, I wanted to show you boys and girls a couple of my favorite instruments that I like to play, one of which you've already seen before in music class. This instrument right here. Now take a look at it and see if you can tell me what instrument is this that I've got in my hands. Maybe turn to someone around you, maybe your parents or maybe your siblings, maybe you've got a pet. You can tell them what instrument you think this is. Now, I always have some kids who ask me if this is a guitar. It might look a little bit like a guitar, but it's not quite the same as a guitar. This instrument is called a ukulele, or as they call it in Hawaii, where this instrument was invented, the ukulele. Now let's talk a little bit about the differences between the ukulele, and this instrument, the guitar. What is the first thing that you notice that's different about these two instruments? Of course, the size is way different. Look at how big this guitar is. Compare that to the size of my ukulele. The guitar is much, much bigger. Now, this ukulele is actually called a baritone ukulele, and it's actually a bit bigger than some other ukuleles that you're probably used to seeing. But even the baritone, which is one of the largest types of ukuleles, is still much smaller than your guitar. Anything else you notice that's different about them? Maybe count the strings that you see on the guitar and the ukulele. I know it can be kind of hard to see. You might have to squint real close. You might notice that the guitar has 6 strings in all. 6 strings total, while the ukulele has only 4. Things that they have in common, these are both members of the string family. They're called members of the string family because they have strings that you can strum or pluck to play. So they're both members of the string family. They're both made out of similar materials. A lot of guitars and ukuleles are made out of different types of wood. Sometimes they're made out of types of laminate, other types of hard materials. So they're both made of pretty similar materials. They also both have These things called tuning pegs. We can use these tuning pegs to change the pitch, the high or low of the strings, and that's used a lot for adjusting the pitch slightly so that it sounds a little bit better. Now, the other thing that you'll notice on both of the instruments, they have these little bars that run across the what we call the neck of the instrument. These are called frets. And the frets are where we press down our fingers to change the note of the string. For example, if I want to play the top string of my ukulele, sounds like that. If I press one finger down on the second fret, 1, 2, it changes the pitch. Just like that. Now, by using a different combination of frets and fingers, I can change the notes of the strings to produce something called a chord. Sounds pretty nice. And then I can switch my fingers to a different location, different frets, and I get a different chord. Let's compare the sound between the ukulele and the guitar. Here's the ukulele. Take one last listen to it. Let's take a listen to this instrument, the guitar. Now, I don't play guitar as much as ukulele for a couple of reasons. Number one, the guitar, the one that I own, is a little too big for me. It's not the most comfortable instrument for me to play, so I actually prefer my ukulele just because it's a little bit smaller. And also, I think it's kind of unfair that they have 6 strings and I only have 5 fingers on my hand. I feel like I need an extra finger to play the guitar. So I don't play guitar too often, but it does sound like this. You might notice that they do sound a little bit similar. Take one last listen. This is the G chord on my guitar. Let's compare that to the G chord on the ukulele. Notice any difference? While some of the pitches are exactly the same, one thing that's very different is that because the guitar has 2 extra strings on it, it's got 2 strings that are much lower than any of the strings on my ukulele. You get a little bit of a deeper sound, as I like to say. So those are some of the differences between guitar or ukulele. I prefer the ukulele. I think it's a little bit easier for someone like me or for you to pick up. But I know guitar is super popular. You can always play guitar as well. Those are 2 of my favorite stringed instruments to play. I want to teach you one of my favorite songs in music class called The Grand Old Duke of York. As you listen to the song the first time, I want you to tell me, what do you notice happens to the music every time we repeat the song? Take a listen and tell me what happens every time we repeat. Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up, and when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up, and when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up, and when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. What did you notice happened to the music every single time we repeated the song? You might have noticed that the music got faster. We call the speed of the music the tempo. The tempo got a little bit faster every single time we repeated the song. We remember from last music class that music can be fast or slow. We're going to practice singing slow and then faster and faster. We're also going to move with some actions that I'm going to teach you right now. In order to move along with the Grand Old Duke of York, you need to make sure that you've got enough space. The other thing that you absolutely need to have in order to move to the Grand Old Duke of York, you actually need a chair. You need to make sure you've got a chair, but you also want to make sure you've got enough space, especially enough space for you to stand up and down. I'm going to do the actions slowly. You can copy my actions along with me. Oh, the noble Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. How'd you do? I know it's difficult learning these new actions right away, so if you need some more time to practice at a slow tempo, at a slow speed, rewind the video a little bit and try again. But if you're ready to try it a little bit faster, you can go along with me. Here we go. Oh, the noble Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. If you can do it at that speed, I'm pretty sure you're ready to try it with music. Let's get to it.
Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. Then he marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down.
One of my favorite things about a new year of school is the school supplies. And I want to know, what are some of your favorite school supplies that you're using this year? Maybe it's your backpack that you really love. Maybe you have some folders that are super colorful. Maybe you've got a couple notebooks with an awesome cover on it. Or maybe it's your pencils that you really love to use. Well, I thought today we would spend a little bit of time reading a story about school supplies. And I know that seems hard to believe, but believe it or not, I've got the perfect story for us. It's called There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed Some Books. Now, I said we're going to read the story, but we're actually going to sing it. And before we sing the book, I want to teach you a little part of the song that we're going to be singing so that you can sing it along with me. It goes a little bit like this. There was an old lady who swallowed some books. I don't know why she swallowed some books, but she didn't get any looks. Let's try singing it one more time. There was an old lady who swallowed some books. I don't know why she swallowed some books, but she didn't get any looks. Anytime that part of the story reappears, it's going to come back over and over again. Feel free to sing along. This is There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed Some Books by Lucille Colandro and illustrated by Jared Lee. There was an old lady who swallowed some books. I don't know why she swallowed some books, but she didn't get any looks. There was an old lady who swallowed a pen. She was happy again when she swallowed that pen. She swallowed the pen to write in the books. I don't know why she swallowed the books, but she didn't get any looks. So far she swallowed a pen and a book. I wonder what she's going to swallow next. There was an old lady who swallowed a pencil case. Without leaving a trace, she swallowed that pencil case. She swallowed the pencil case to hold the pen. She swallowed the pen to write in the books. I don't know why she swallowed the books, but she didn't get any looks. There was an old lady who swallowed a ruler. She couldn't look cooler swallowing that ruler. She swallowed the ruler to measure the pencil case. She swallowed the pencil case to hold the pen. She swallowed the pen to write in the books. I don't know why she swallowed the books, but she didn't get any looks. What do you think she's going to swallow next? Oh, maybe. Let's find out. There was an old lady who swallowed a folder. She didn't feel any older when she swallowed the folder. She swallowed the folder to protect the ruler. She swallowed the ruler to measure the pencil case. She swallowed the pencil case to hold the pen. She swallowed the pen to write in the books. I don't know why she swallowed the books, but she didn't get any looks. There was an old lady who swallowed some chalk. She didn't balk when she swallowed that chalk. Ooh, would you want to eat chalk? I certainly wouldn't. I don't think that would taste very good. She swallowed the chalk to decorate the folder. She swallowed the folder to protect the ruler. She swallowed the ruler to measure the pencil case. She swallowed the pencil case to hold the pen. She swallowed the pen to write in the books. I don't know why she swallowed the books, but she didn't get any looks. There was an old lady who swallowed a bag. She didn't brag when she swallowed that bag. The old lady didn't fuss when around the corner came a big yellow school bus. She started a cheer that she could not hold back, and out popped out her brand new backpack. Have a great school year. The end. I hope you enjoyed our story time. That was There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed Some Books by Lucille Colandro and illustrated by Jared Lee. Adios, it's time to go. Sing up high, sing down low. Sing real soft and sing real strong. Adios, our goodbye song. Adios, amigos. I'll see you all next week for another fun music class. Adios to you. Adios, amigos. Boy, I don't know about you, Leo, but I had a lot of fun during music class today. Did you? I thought so too. And Freddie, how are you feeling? You feeling any better after making some music together?
Yeah, I feel great after making music with all my friends. It feels nice to have all this support when I'm feeling down. It helps me feel a great sense of community.
And that's what we're all here for, to support each other and build that sense of community together. How about you? How are you feeling after our day of music together? You feeling any better? Have you lifted up your spirits a little bit? I hope you do. And if you're still having a little bit of a rough day, don't be afraid to reach out to me or any of the other teachers here at West Burlington Elementary School. We are all here to support you and make sure that we all come out of this stronger than ever. With that said, I've got to get going, so I will see you all next week for another music class.